Good evening, everyone. Leadership is not about power, control, or personal success. It is about service. The best leaders understand that their primary role is to support, uplift, and empower their teams. When leaders shift their focus from managing tasks to serving people, everything changes. The dynamic in the workplace becomes healthier. The level of trust rises, and people feel more valued and engaged. Leadership is not about being in charge, it is about taking care of those in your charge. A servant leader recognizes that their team members are not just employees fulfilling a role, but individuals with aspirations, struggles, and untapped potential. The moment a leader begins to prioritize the success and well-being of their people over their own personal gain, they foster an environment where trust and loyalty flourish. When people feel seen, heard, and appreciated, they naturally become more committed to their work. They feel safe enough to take risks, contribute ideas, and push themselves beyond their perceived limitations. One of the most fundamental aspects of servant leadership is listening. Many managers give orders, but few truly listen. Servant leaders take the time to understand the concerns and challenges of their team members. They ask questions, not to catch someone making a mistake, but to gain insights into how they can help remove obstacles and create a path for success. People are more likely to follow a leader who genuinely listens and values their input rather than one who simply dictates tasks from above. Another key component of serving rather than controlling is providing support rather than micromanaging. A controlling manager wants to oversee every detail, believing that their involvement ensures success. But what this actually does is create a culture of dependency, fear, and hesitation. Employees who feel micromanaged stop thinking for themselves. They become afraid to take initiative or make decisions. Servant leaders, on the other hand, trust their people. They provide guidance, but they also give autonomy. They empower their teams to make decisions, experiment, and grow. Servant leadership also requires humility. A true leader does not seek credit or personal recognition. They give credit where it is due and accept responsibility when things go wrong. They celebrate the wins of their team rather than their own achievements. They understand that leadership is not about standing above others, but about standing beside them, ensuring that they have what they need to succeed. A workplace led by a servant leader looks fundamentally different. People are more engaged, more motivated, and more willing to give their best. There's less fear and more collaboration. Instead of working solely for a paycheck, employees feel that their work has meaning. They see themselves as part of something bigger, something that matters. And it all starts with a leader who chooses to serve first. When leaders adopt a servant mindset, they don't just improve their teams, they transform them. They create an environment where people can thrive, where innovation can flourish, and where success is not just about individual achievement, but about collective growth. True leadership is not measured by how much power one has, but by how many people they have helped rise. People don't commit to tasks, they commit to purpose. When a leader only focuses on what needs to be done without explaining why, they miss the most powerful tool of motivation, meaning. Employees who understand the deeper purpose behind their work are far more engaged, creative, and committed. They don't just complete tasks, they take ownership of their role, knowing that their contribution matters. A middle manager who wants to become a true leader must master the ability to communicate the why behind every decision, every project, and every goal. Too often, organizations operate in a way that expects employees to follow instructions without question. Tasks are assigned, deadlines are given, and expectations are set. But when people don't see how their work fits into the bigger picture, they lose interest. Work becomes just another set of instructions to execute rather than a meaningful contribution to something greater. When leaders fail to communicate purpose, employees disengage. They do the bare minimum required because they don't see why they should do more. But when a leader effectively connects their team's work to a larger mission, everything changes. A powerful way to communicate purpose is through storytelling. Instead of simply saying, "We need to hit these numbers this quarter," a leader could share a story about how their company's product or service has changed someone's life. When people see the real-world impact of what they do, they are far more inspired to go above and beyond. Stories give context to numbers, and they transform routine work into something meaningful. Great leaders don't just provide instructions, they create an emotional connection to the mission. Another key aspect of communicating the why is transparency. Employees don't want to feel like they're in the dark, blindly following directives. They want to understand the reasoning behind decisions, even when those decisions are difficult. A true leader does not just dictate change, they explain it. If a company is going through restructuring, a leader who simply informs the team of changes without explanation creates uncertainty and fear. But if they take the time to explain why these changes are happening, how they align with the company's vision, and what it means for the future, employees are more likely to trust the process and stay engaged. Leaders who successfully communicate the why behind their decisions also encourage innovation. When people understand the bigger picture, they don't just follow orders, they start thinking for themselves. They come up with better solutions, they contribute ideas, and they take initiative. Instead of waiting for instructions, they proactively seek ways to improve their work and drive results. When leaders focus on the why, they create an environment of trust, engagement, and passion. People stop seeing their work as just a job and start seeing it as a mission. They stop working for a paycheck and start working for a purpose. The difference between a manager and a leader is simple. A manager tells people what to do. A leader inspires them to believe in why they are doing it. People do their best work when they feel safe to speak up, safe to take risks, and safe to fail without fear of harsh consequences. Psychological safety is the foundation of trust in any workplace. And without it, teams struggle to collaborate, innovate, and grow. A true leader does not rule with fear or intimidation, but creates an environment where people feel comfortable being themselves, sharing ideas, and learning from mistakes. When employees believe that their contributions are valued and their voices matter, they are more likely to push boundaries, think creatively, and commit fully to their work. Many middle managers unknowingly create a culture of hesitation rather than trust. They expect perfection, criticize mistakes harshly, or discourage differing opinions. In such environments, employees become afraid to speak up, fearing that their ideas will be dismissed or that failure will lead to punishment. Over time, this erodes confidence and motivation. People stop taking risks, avoid challenges, and settle into a mindset of just doing the minimum to stay under the radar. But great leaders understand that the best teams are built on openness and trust. They know that mistakes are a part of growth and that fostering psychological safety leads to stronger performance. One of the most effective ways to create psychological safety is by encouraging open dialogue. Leaders must make it clear that feedback, concerns, and ideas are not just tolerated but welcomed. This starts with really listening when employees speak. A leader who dismisses suggestions or reacts defensively to criticism shuts down communication. But a leader who actively listens, asks thoughtful questions, and values input builds trust. Employees need to know that their thoughts and concerns will be heard and respected, even if they challenge the status quo. Another key aspect of fostering psychological safety is normalizing failure as a learning opportunity. Too many workplaces treat mistakes as something to be punished rather than something to be learned from. When employees fear failure, they become risk-averse, sticking to safe, predictable approaches rather than experimenting with new ideas. But great leaders create an environment where failure is seen as a step toward growth. They encourage their teams to take calculated risks, test new approaches, and embrace setbacks as opportunities to improve. Instead of asking who is to blame, they ask, what can we learn from this? Leading with vulnerability is also a powerful way to build trust. When leaders admit their own mistakes, uncertainties, they create a culture where others feel safe doing the same. A leader who pretends to have all the answers creates an environment where employees feel pressured to do the same, even when they are struggling. But when a leader openly acknowledges their own learning process, it sends a powerful message. Growth is more important than perfection. A workplace where psychological safety exists is one where people thrive. Employees feel confident sharing ideas, taking initiative, and pushing boundaries. They are more engaged, more innovative, and more committed to the team's success. By fostering trust, openness, and a culture that embraces learning, leaders create an environment where people do more than just show up, they show up as their best selves. Great leaders don't just manage individuals, they build strong, cohesive teams that work together toward a shared purpose. A middle manager striving to become a true leader must focus on creating a culture of collaboration rather than competition. When people feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves, when they trust each other and support each other, the entire team becomes more effective, innovative, and resilient. A leader's job is not just to oversee work, but to cultivate an environment where teamwork flourishes. Too often, workplaces become divided. Employees work in silos, departments compete for resources, and individuals focus on their own success and the success of the team. This kind of environment leads to mistrust, poor communication, and inefficiency. People withhold information, fail to support one another, and become more focused on self-preservation and collaboration. But strong teams don't function this way. In a truly collaborative environment, team members recognize that they are all working toward the same goal, and they understand that their success depends on each other. One of the first steps in fostering collaboration is creating a culture of trust. Without trust, teamwork is impossible. People need to feel confident that their colleagues have their backs, that their contributions are valued, and that they won't be undermined or blamed when things go wrong. A leader can build this trust by encouraging transparency, promoting honest communication, and ensuring that every team member feels heard and respected. When people trust each other, they are more willing to share ideas, ask for help, and contribute their best work without fear. A great leader also fosters collaboration by setting a clear vision that unites the team. When everyone understands the larger mission and how their work contributes to it, they are more likely to work together effectively. A leader who clearly communicates goals and expectations helps team members align their efforts, reducing confusion and conflict. Instead of working in isolation, people begin to see how their roles fit together and how they can support one another to achieve common objectives. Encouraging open communication is another crucial factor in team building. Leaders should create an environment where people feel safe expressing their thoughts, concerns, and ideas. When communication is open and honest, misunderstandings decrease, problem-solving becomes more efficient, and collaboration improves. Regular team meetings, one-on-one check-ins, and feedback sessions can help ensure that everyone stays connected and aligned. A strong team is also one where people genuinely care about each other's success. Great leaders encourage a sense of camaraderie by celebrating wins, recognizing individual contributions, and fostering a culture of mutual support. They create opportunities for team bonding, encourage mentorship, and model behaviors that promote unity. When people feel like they are part of a team that values and supports them, they are more engaged, more motivated, and more willing to go the extra mile. True leadership is about more than just managing, it's about building something greater than the sum of its parts. When a leader focuses on fostering collaboration, they create an environment where individuals don't just work together, but thrive together. Leadership is not about knowing all the answers, it's about being willing to learn and grow continuously. The best leaders recognize that they don't have to be the smartest person in the room. They just have to be open to new ideas, adaptable to change, and committed to self-improvement. Middle managers who aspire to become true leaders must embrace a mindset of lifelong learning, not only for themselves, but also for their teams. Growth is not a destination, it's an ongoing journey. And the most successful leaders are those who remain curious, humble, and eager to develop new skills. A common mistake that many managers make is believing that their promotion into leadership means they no longer need to improve. They assume that reaching a certain position validates their expertise, and they stop seeking out opportunities to learn. But leadership is not a title, it's a responsibility, and the world is constantly evolving. The best leaders understand that they must evolve with it. They stay informed about industry trends, study new leadership approaches, and seek feedback from those around them. They are not afraid to admit when they don't know something, and they view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to their authority. One of the most effective ways to embrace continuous learning is through mentorship and coaching. Great leaders seek guidance from those who have more experience, recognizing that wisdom comes from those who have faced similar challenges before. They surround themselves with people who challenge their perspectives, push them to think differently, and help them refine their leadership skills. At the same time, they also mentor others, passing down knowledge, supporting professional development, and fostering a culture where learning is valued at every level of the organization. Continuous learning is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about developing the ability to adapt. The workplace is constantly changing, and leaders who resist change often find themselves struggling to keep up. Whether it's shifting market conditions, technological advancements, or new ways of working, true leaders remain flexible and open to new possibilities. They're willing to let go of outdated methods, experiment with innovative approaches, and encourage their teams to do the same. One of the hallmarks of a leader committed to growth is their willingness to seek feedback. Too many managers avoid feedback because they fear criticism, but the strongest leaders understand that feedback is essential for improvement. They create an environment where open dialogue is encouraged, actively ask their teams for input, and take constructive criticism as a tool for refinement rather than a personal attack. A leader who listens to feedback demonstrates humility, emotional intelligence, and a commitment to being better. True leadership is not about reaching a point of perfection, but about striving to be better every day. Leaders who embrace continuous learning don't just improve themselves, they inspire their teams to do the same. They cultivate a culture of growth, resilience, and innovation, ensuring that their organizations don't just survive in a changing world, but thrive in it. The best leaders are not those who have all the answers, but those who never stop seeking them. A true leader does not just give orders, they inspire action through example. Leadership is not about telling people what to do, it's about showing them how it's done. Middle managers who aspire to become true leaders must embody the values, work ethic, and mindset they expect from their teams. People do not follow words alone, they follow behaviors. If a leader lacks integrity, their team will see it. If they avoid responsibility, their team will do the same. If they are inconsistent, disengaged, or unmotivated, that attitude will spread throughout the organization. A great leader does not ask for respect, they earn it by setting the standard through their actions. One of the most powerful ways to lead by example is through accountability. Leaders must hold themselves to the same, if not higher, standards as their team. If a leader makes a mistake, they should own it. If they expect their team to meet deadlines, they should do the same. If they value teamwork, they should actively collaborate. Nothing kills morale faster than hypocrisy. When leaders expect one thing from their team but behave differently themselves, trust erodes. But when a leader demonstrates accountability, employees respect them more and, in turn, take greater responsibility for their own work. Work ethic is another essential element of leading by example. A leader who is engaged, focused, and committed will naturally inspire the same in their team. When employees see their leader working hard, staying late when necessary, or tackling challenges with determination, it creates a culture of dedication. But leadership is not about simply working harder, it's about working smarter, maintaining balance, and ensuring that others do the same. A leader who values efficiency, prioritization, and time management helps set the tone for a team that works productively without burnout. Emotional intelligence is also a critical component of leading by example. Leaders who manage their emotions well, handle stress with composure, and navigate conflict with patience show their team how to approach challenges professionally. When a leader remains calm under pressure, it reassures the team and keeps morale strong. On the other hand, when a leader reacts with frustration, panic, or negativity, those emotions spread quickly. Leadership is not about being emotionless, it's about demonstrating emotional control and resilience in a way that others can learn from. A great leader also fosters a culture of learning and improvement by consistently pushing themselves to grow. If a leader expects their team to be innovative, they should be open to new ideas. If they want their employees to embrace feedback, they should actively seek it out for themselves. If they encourage professional development, they should engage in learning opportunities as well. Employees are far more likely to adopt a growth mindset when they see their leader practicing it firsthand. Ultimately, leadership is not about position, it's about influence. And influence comes not from authority, but from authenticity. When a leader's words align with their actions, they build trust, credibility, and respect. By setting the right example, they don't just create better employees, they create future leaders.